I once had a rock star. I said, why do you like the guitar? And he goes, I don't know, it just works for me. Which I thought was a very sophisticated answer. Simply, when he used it, it worked for the music he was playing. And these things work for me. And I'm finding out a lot of other guitar players like them too. It makes me smile when somebody falls in love with a guitar that I'm using, and it changes what they're going to be using in the future. And I want them played, I want them dinged, I want them to have life, to give music to the world. They just sound beautiful to me. Hi everyone, it's Paul. This is a charcoal Phoenix, and I want to talk about where it came from. So we started making these beautiful guitars for John McLaughlin, and his had a tremolo. His guitar had a tremolo, and typically I don't use a trem. For me, I was bending the notes with my hands. And so when we released the John McLaughlins, I always wanted to do the stoptail piece version of it, which is this charcoal Phoenix. And I really liked it. And my daughter, Sarah, says, well, it's a charcoal Phoenix, Dad, because it's got this charcoal and this red of the Phoenix coming out of the fire, right? A Phoenix, a burning bird coming out of the fire, that sounds very mythical to me. So if I go through the guitar really quickly, it's got an incredibly strong neck, which gives it a strong tone. Lightweight tuning pegs, there's a bone nut on it. It has really high medium wire, which is more like a vintage guitar in a way. These TCI pickups I've worked on for the last decade and couldn't be happier with the way they sound. They sound beautiful to me. They've got an aggressive tone that's heard. Every note that you play is heard, but it doesn't hurt at all. It's easy to control. The neck's made of chaltecoco. It's very strong. The fretboard is ziricote. The top is curly maple and the back is African mahogany. The guitar is not too heavy, it's not too light, it sits well on a strap. I think it's beautiful. There's nothing about this guitar, whether it be the nitro finish or the way it's wired or anything that I don't like. You know, if I'm playing the bass pickup, very wide open, but if I do the treble pickup, same thing. It's this wide open, high mid-rangey, beautiful sound that was translating beautifully through an amp. And if I use the distortion channel, you get the same effect. Treble pickup. Bass pickup. So typically these mini toggle switches are to coil tap, but we've changed it on this guitar that it's an EQ. It takes the bass and the low mid-range down. It's a shelf. So if I'm playing the guitar normal and I put the EQ in, you can hear that the low mid-range and the bass comes down but doesn't go away. And the thing I really like about it is that it's still humbucking, it's still hum canceling. If I do it on the treble pickup without it, put it in, it cleans the tone up in a beautiful way, and it still retains its hum canceling qualities. Very often with a guitar, the tone control turns the treble down, but these switches turn the bass and the low mid-range down. It's a different animal. Let me show you something, it's cool. the sustain's coming from the guitar. The guitar's ringing forever. It just keeps going. It's not like I'm using a pedal to get the sustain or a compressor. I'm just playing through the amp. And that was the clean channel and the dirty channel. That's what the guitar sounds like. Part of that gorgeous high mid-range is coming out of these pickups that doesn't sound harsh is from the magnetic field and how it reacts to the strings. By the way, these TCI pickups and a lot of the guitars for 2025 have this new for us American Alnico in them, and it sounds great. So these charcoal Phoenixes have become the guitar I've been playing live recently, and they really have changed the tone of what comes out of my amp, changed the tone that I'm aspiring to. So what's the definition of tone? It's a musical frequency response and set of harmonics that inspires a player to play better. If it's getting a beautiful tone, it just makes you want to play. That's the goal. That's what you're after. You're after that you can get the kind of attack or gentleness or scream or cry or aggressiveness all in the same guitar without changing the amp. It's the way you attack the guitar. I actually think the Paul's guitars were exceptional. In this way, with the Charcoal Phoenix, it brings that guitar a new life because it's got a private stock top and all this exotic stuff attached to it. I have hopes long term that these tones that are coming out of this guitar are going to come out of, the regular guitars coming off the Maryland line, not the private stocks. In a way, it's the beginning of a new sound for our company. There are Les Paul tones, there are Strat tones, there are Tele tones, and I think these new guitars from PRS have a tone of all their own. And I'm gotten really used to it playing live. I plug in and I'm beaming. There's going to be a limited run of these Charcoal Phoenixes. They have private stock tops on them. It is limited, and if you have one, you have something extraordinary. And a lot of them will end up in collections, but God, I hope some people just plug them in and play them to death. That's what I really want.